Hello, beautiful people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Prosper Michael from Prime Media TV, Lagos, Nigeria. Today, I'm going to be giving you headlines from various news platforms and how it's going all over the world. So stay put for this short break as we get back to you quickly. Okay, welcome back to Prime Media TV. I'm Prosper Michael. Today, first on the headline is from Vanguard newspaper, where we read that Labour Party knows Obi lost 2023 polls, says Shoyinka, and this has been it's been hitting up on this story because a lot of people are really not comfortable with this story, these reactions as regard the statement of Professor Wole Soyinka. I'll read briefly. So, Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka yesterday alleged that the leadership of the Labour Party (LP) knew that his presidential candidate Peter Obi lost the February 25 election. Soyinka accused the leadership of the LP of trying to force a lie on Nigerians, especially youth, that Obi won the election. The Nobel laureate spoke at an event titled "The Lives of Wole Soyinka," a dialogue organized by African in the World. The event took place in Stellenbosch, South Africa. While speaking at the event, Soyinka was asked to react to his comment against Vice President candidate of LP, Dati Baba Ahmed, after general elections. Soyinka said the truth of the matter to him, noting that many people always look for shortcuts. His words: "This recent election, two things happened. First of all, one party took over the labor movement, which is not my favorite movement, and then it became a regional party." So we're going to listen to Wole Soyinka when he made this utterance from the faraway South Africa. So, and there's a lot of reaction to this. There's a lot of reaction to these stories. This from Professor Wole Soyinka.
It's unfortunate that because the two things happened. First of all, one party took over the labor movement, which is one of my favorite movements also. And then it became a regional party, more than, whereas it was a marvelous breach into the established two camps. Peter Obi achieved something remarkable there, that he broke that mold. Yes. However, he did not win the election. In addition, my own organization has a monitoring unit. You know the one I'm talking about. And so I could say categorically that Peter Obi's party came third, not even second. And that the leadership knew it. But they wanted to do what we call in Yoruba, bajue. That is, you know, you have force of arms. You also have force of lies. And it was gearing up towards violence. They were going to send some of the hardliners, were going to send crowds, young people into the streets to demonstrate. I'm always ready to be among such demonstrators, but only on the banner of truth, not of lies, not of deceit. In addition, and this is the worst part, they didn't know it, but they were being used. Before the elections ever took place, there was a certain clandestine force, a reactionary. It included some ex-generals who were already calling for an interim government before the elections began. And so the party was playing into the hands, maybe not consciously all of them, but some definitely, trying to create a situation to bring back the military. That's what I was against. And before then, I'd already sent 3 emissaries to that leader, saying, curb your supporters. Just tell them to be on their guard. If you lose an election the first time, what does it matter?
Okay, welcome back. That was Wale Soyinka, where he was addressing the issue of the 2023 presidential election, and particularly of the Labour Party. Then moving on to the next story on the bulletin today, we look at the story on Vanguard, which says that we did not ban impoundment of vehicles. It's a Federal Road Safety Commission clarifies. There was a news making it around that Federal Road Safety has banned the impoundment of vehicles, and this has come to clarify that the Corps Martial Federal Road Safety Corps (FROCA) Dauda Bill has dismissed the circulations of a wrongly couched memo regarding a directive issued to commanding officers. This is contained in a statement issued by the FRCN spokesman, Mr. Bisi Kazim, on Thursday in Abuja. Kazim said that the memo in question relates to a directive issued to commanding officers which called for an end to the practice of placing patrol operatives in the vehicles of offenders during impoundment. He, however, said that the original directive was issued on a memo dated 12th of September 2023. He added that the memo was titled Immediate Ban on the Placing of Staff in Offenders' Vehicle to Escort for Impoundment. This was, however, interpreted as a complete ban on impoundment of a vehicle by Corps Martial. Okay, yeah, the story, you can also get details from the Vanguard newspaper. And I think what they're trying to clarify there is that when a vehicle is impounded, normally you see some of FRCN staff in some of this vehicle escort them to where the vehicle will be kept. But now there was a directive that was issued that such shouldn't be the case anymore. So, and that directive was misinterpreted. The news was making the round that the FRCN has instructed officials not to impound vehicles anymore. That's what they have come to clarify on that memo, making round as we speak at the moment. Then the next one talked about Nigeria needs 21 trillion naira to address housing deficit, says Shitima. So the vice president's candidates of, the vice president Shitima has made this assertion. He was speaking during the groundbreaking of a 500-unit housing estate to be constructed by the Sokoto state government. In a statement by Olushola Abiola, the director in the office of the vice president, Senator Shitima, notes that Nigeria has a housing deficit of 28 million houses. He, however, commended Governor Ahmed Aliyu of Sokoto State for his effort at tackling the housing needs of his people. Okay, yeah. Moving on to the next story, we look at the Punch newspaper, where we see that a total blackout as Nigerians' power grid collapses again. So there is a widespread blackout across the country following the total collapse of Nigeria's electricity grid early Thursday morning. It was regarded that the grid collapsed totally around 12:40 a.m. on September 14, leading to the massive loss of supply to power distributors nationwide. Multiple sources in the power sector, as well as electricity distribution companies, confirmed the development to our correspondent on Thursday morning. The Enugu Electricity Distribution Company PLC issued a notice titled Notice of Total System Collapse on Thursday. In the notice, it said the EEDC wishes to inform her esteemed customers of a total system collapse which occurred at 12:40 a.m. today, September 14, 2023. This has resulted in the loss of supply currently being experienced across the network. Due to this development, all our interface, TCN, Transmission Company of Nigeria stations are out of supply, and we are unable to provide service to our customers in Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo State, respectively. We are on standby, awaiting detailed information of the collapse and restoration of supply from the National Control Offshore Board. So yeah, there you have it. So as we speak right now, there's blackout everywhere because of the national grid system collapse. So moving on to the next story, we saw that in a punch that ASU parents protest as more varsity hikes. So there have been protests from every angle because of the recent hike in electricity. Sorry, excuse me, in fees at a university. So, as certain institutions across the country begin a new section next week, the Academic Staff Union of University parents and students started protests as more varsity continue to hike their fees amid a worsening economy. ASU, as well as the associations of parents and students, warned about the likelihood of mass dropouts of students following the hikes in fees by the university across the country. The union was worried about the development just as apprehensive parents expressed concerns over the implications of the fee hike for their children and wives in public tertiary institutions. The national president, ASU, Professor Emmanuel, frowned on the fee increase, noting that the university is not a profit-making commercial center. The management of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ilefe, Osun State, announced a new school fee regime on Wednesday. So there you have it, and this is what the parents are not comfortable with: the hike from school fees because of the risk of the harshness of the crime. That this might result to a lot of students dropping out from schools, and they are protesting that as we speak. Then, still on the from Punch newspaper, we can see that gunmen attack Plateau Church, adopt pastors, two others in Plateau State. So, gunmen on Wednesday kidnapped the pastor, Usman Omaru, in the Jos Eastern local government area of Plateau State. It was gathered that the cleric who is working with the Evangelical Church Winning All was adopted alongside two other persons when the gunmen attacked his church located at the Megumu community in the early hours of Wednesday. A youth leader in the community, Michael Madoki, confirmed this incident to Punch Metro in Jos on Wednesday. So the rampaging, the kidnapping issue still ongoing in their houses. And I think Khan was actually talking about this yesterday, that over 200 churches has been closed down in Kaduna State, while about 30 plus 20 pastors, more than 20 pastors have been kidnapped in these regions. So moving on to the Nation newspaper, we can see that employers reject NLC plan to shut down economy. So that's the story there. NLC plans to shut down economy, but employees have rejected the plan strike. So the proposed strike by the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) will be counterproductive if it goes ahead. Private employers of labor cautioned yesterday. According to them, the NLC should seek better opportunities for its members to caution subsidy removal pain through dialogue with the government. Early in the month, NLC President Joe Ajero called out workers on a two-day warning strike, but it attracted mixed compliance on the September 5th and 6th. Announcing the warning strike, Ajero, who shunned a meeting called by Labour ministers Simon Along, said a total shutdown of the economy would follow in 14 days unless the government reverses the pump price of petrol to May 29, among other reasons. The Trade Union Congress (TUC), which declined to join the LLC for the warning strike, opted for a dialogue with the government within 2 weeks. In September 8th letter to the government, the TUC said it is expecting a response from the government on its proposal. The NLC has, however, opted to go ahead with its plan to mobilize workers for an indefinite strike. But the former vice president of the NLC, Comrade Issa Aremu, said the industrial action is preventable. Aremu, who is Director General of Michael Amodi National Institute for Labour Studies, said strikes are just the means to an end. The end is improved welfare for working men and women at the challenging time. Okay, so there you have it. NLC planning to shut down the economy. because they want the federal government to revert the fuel price to the previous price before May 29. Now, employers are threatening not to be involved in this planned strike. Okay, you've been watching Prime Media TV from Lagos, Nigeria, and this is what we can take at this time. And shortly we'll come to you again with more program as lined up. So do have a wonderful time. As a great day here. Take care.